In the last video, I unpackaged a bunch of fidget spinners, some of which were from Axiom spinners, which I think used to be part of R2 Designs. But I ordered some spinners, and they sent me they gave me a free spinner, which was this one, this Tetra, which is blasted stainless steel. And right after I ordered that one, I actually ordered a Tetra. So now I have two Tetras, one black and one stainless blasted. But I thought since they were so nice to send me a free one, that I would review the Tetra first. And I thought that I might just go ahead and do both of them at the same time. We can get a comparison. I don't very often get two of the same spinner that I can review at the same time. So hopefully they'll turn out very similar. That's what we want to see. They won't turn out exactly the same, of course, but I'm going to test these two and see what kind of results we get. I took note of these right away when I started playing with them. I haven't played with them very much, but they do have a really unique feel to them. They've got a little catch where you can grab hold of and pull it, and they seem to work, surprisingly, they work well for throwing too. They don't, your finger catches okay on that, and it's going to be different when you turn it around the other way, so we're going to get two different feels altogether. And it works well both ways, but it has a kind of unique feel to it, so I'm kind of intrigued by this one. It doesn't look like it would be all that interesting to play with, but it does seem to be. So I'm going to test these out now. Okay, I got done testing these two Tetra spinners from Axiom spinners. They did pretty well, actually, and they were fairly consistent. The average spin time for the black one with the brushed weights was 7 minutes and 30 seconds, and the average spin duration for the steel blasted one was 7 minutes and 17 seconds. There's a little bit of difference, but you'd expect that, a little bit of individual variation between these two, and it could have been partly because of error that I introduced. A couple of things really stood out with these. There were some different durations depending on how it was spun. First off, they both did a lot better vertically than horizontally. The black one got, it was getting anywhere from 7 to 8 minutes vertically compared to around 7 horizontally, and the blasted one was getting anywhere from 6 to 9 minutes horizontally and a little less vertically. The main effect that came out, which was pretty interesting, I've seen this effect before. It's a lot about which particular way the spinning. You can see this is not symmetrical. It's going to be a little bit different in aerodynamics one way or the other. And what we got was very consistently when it was spinning so that these lands went towards, like this, in this direction, towards, like as if it were a saw blade cutting into something. It spun a lot longer than if it was spinning backwards like this. That was very consistent. Both spinners did that, and it was quite a huge difference. Actually, this blasted one held vertically spinning like this actually got 9 minutes and 25 seconds, and the black one got 8 minutes and 11 seconds spinning like that. The slowest speed was, where did that go? Yeah, the slowest speed was the blasted one spinning, like this against the cut, and it was only 5 minutes and 56 seconds. So there was a lot of variation, and it seems like spinning it like this is the way it's going to go faster, or longer, I should say. So they both did that, and it was very consistent. I'm not sure quite why that happens. It's got to be something to do with the aerodynamics of it. I would have thought that it would have spun longer going like this, but that's just not the case. And it was a pretty big effect. So the other issue is how do these play? It's actually pretty intriguing. It's got a really interesting feel to it. Obviously you've got a little edge here that you can pull on, and that works really well. But you would think throwing it in the other direction like that would be difficult, since there's no edge to hook on, but it's not actually. It actually spins really well that way. So these things have a quite a bit different feel than most spinners, and it's a pretty interesting feel actually. I kind of like it. And they work well both ways, and then of course you can turn it over and you get a totally different situation. You can throw off of that and pull off of that, and both work pretty well. And I think a lot of it has to do with these weights on the outside here. You can catch on those in several different ways. So this thing actually feels, if you want something that feels different than most spinners but still feels really good, this is a good spinner for you. I thought I was going to have a little bit of trouble because it's kind of in a way like a round spinner with projections. You can't get really close to the button, but it's really not a problem. It works really well. So these things feel different but very interesting, and it's something that I would recommend trying out. The blasted one got an overall score of 7.77, and mostly the reduction in score was based on the fact that it varied a lot depending on how it was spun. And if you've watched some of my videos before, you'll know that variation in the spin time cuts the score down quite a bit. So I don't really consider that a bad thing. It's still considered a very good spinner, and if you don't care too much about the variability of in which way it's spinning, it would have got a much higher score. And this one here got the black one got a 7.97, which was, oh sorry, I got cut off there. The price of these is the normal price is anywhere from $39.99 to $49.99. They have about 6 different colors or finishes for these, and they vary a little bit depending on the finish. But right now, if you're watching this video right after I posted it, they've got a nice sale going on. They're anywhere from $33 to $38, and for $33 to $38, this is quite a bargain, I would say. If you want something different than you normally get, as obviously with fidget spinners, they're not a very complicated thing, so you don't get a lot of differences in them. That is, many of them feel pretty similar. This one's different, and it's definitely worth trying out. So thank you to Axiom for sending me the extra one. It made for a nice little difference in testing, and they were fairly consistent between the two of them. And that's about it. I would definitely recommend picking one of those up.